Hey everyone, Allison Berger here, and welcome to the Galapagos Islands. I took a 7-night celebrity interloop cruise to the Galapagos Islands in mid-March. So here's what to expect if you take the same cruise. We flew from Quito to Baltra Island via Celebrity's chartered plane that was just for us. From the airport, we were shuttled to the port, where we got on a tender to take us to the cruise ship. Sunrise on the first morning prior to our arrival on Santiago Island, this was a wet landing onto the black sand beach before taking either a long or short walk. This is where we got our first taste of seeing some wildlife like aqua iguanas and Darwin's finches. You then had the option to snorkel or swim. We saw a sea lion, but prepare to have black sand everywhere afterwards. After lunch, I chose to go kayaking around Rabida Island, also known as the Red Island. Once we were done kayaking, we arrived on the actual island for a walk. More animals were seen, like this Galapagos oyster catcher, but the coolest thing was seeing these flamingos. They came here from the Caribbean, and we just continued to have great views from above, and we even saw a sea turtle. The next morning at Isabela Island, we went for a tender ride around Elizabeth Bay, where we were first greeted with a family of penguins. We took in all the nature that was surrounding us, and thank goodness for my waterproof case because I was able to get these incredible shots of the sea turtles that were swimming near us. We even spotted a sea lion that was hanging out on a tree. The penguins came back to say their farewells as we went back to the boat for lunch. After lunch, I had my first snorkel in the Galapagos that included seeing a sea turtle and a penguin, and of course, plenty of fish. But the penguin coming so close to us at the end was just so cool. Then it was time to quickly get dried off and get ready to head back out to see Darwin's Lake. And this was my view from the short walk, which was for the best since we got caught in a rainstorm shortly after this video was taken. The next day, I opted for a short tender ride around part of Santiago Island where we saw this pristine water and beach and just happened to have a shark swimming around. And then I finally saw a blue-footed booby as we were approaching Solomon Bay to walk on lava that was over 200 years old. Back on board, I made a reservation to get a bridge tour, which is something you have to ask for, and I highly recommend it because it was so cool to see all the technology that the captain uses. Time for another snorkeling adventure. I saw so many different fish, a stingray, and then right before we got back on the tender to head back to the ship, there was a sea lion sunbathing on a rock right in front of me, and it was just so cool. I just didn't want to leave. Okay, you're seeing this right. Those are the 300-something steps that we took to the top of Bartolome Island, with sea lions to greet us, of course. We can't get away from them. As we continue to head up, you can see the crater in the water. The entire climb up is on these wooden stairs to avoid any accidents happening due to erosion. At each break point, the view was just magnificent. And we're almost there. There's just one more set of stairs left until we make it to the very top to see the lighthouse and this incredible view. The way down was just as spectacular, and there was the sea lion to send us off. We started the next morning with a snorkel at Las Fachas Beach, which unfortunately was pretty murky and we weren't able to see much. The best snorkeling was after lunch this day by North Seymour Island, where we snorkeled with an actual sea lion. He was just swimming all around us and being so playful. It was such an incredible once-in-a-lifetime experience. And the sea lion even got a shark to go away from us. We saw plenty of other fish too, and a stingray, but the sea lion was really just the icing on the cake. After that enjoyable snorkeling experience, it was time to actually walk on North Seymour, and this is when there were just so many animals all around us. The birds, the Galapagos land iguanas were just roaming everywhere, but the real showstoppers were the frigate birds that puff out their chests to attract a mate, and then being able to listen and watch their mating call take place was really something else. Just listen for yourself. The surrounding views with the waves crashing were beautiful. There were even aqua iguanas to mix in with the Galapagos land ones. And of course, there were sea lions. The next day, we arrived at San Cristobal Island, also known as Sea Lion Island, because they were just everywhere. Then we went up to the highlands to visit the breeding center for Galapagos tortoises. There are 42 adult tortoises that are protected and taken care of in the center, and they were just walking all around us without a care in the world. We even caught 2 tortoises making love, which actually lasts up to 4 hours. So it only made sense that after witnessing that taking place, we went to see the baby tortoises, because that's how they're made. Then it was back to the port to head back to the ship for lunch. And that was before we returned to the island to visit the Discovery Lounge, which was a museum to learn more about Darwin and the Galapagos Islands. Then we had some time to go to the beach to swim and to see more of the sea lions. That evening, we rode past Kicker Rock, and we got these amazing 360-degree views of it at sunset. Saturday was our last full day, which was spent at Santa Cruz. Our first activity was to the Darwin Research Center, which is where we saw the giant tortoise breeding center. It was like being in Jurassic Park. It was incredible to see all these giant tortoises, and we saw some babies too. After that, we had some time to walk around the town, all before driving up to the highlands to plant a tree. After that, we headed up to this ranch for a buffet lunch and a show, which we participated in as well. And that concluded my 7 days in the Galapagos, as the next day we flew back to Quito from Baltra. I hope you enjoyed checking out the Galapagos with me. For more information about the tour I took, check out the links below. So until next time, I'm Allison Berger, and don't forget, I'm FunSized.